Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary folk, you are in luck today. You are witnessing my first episode of my first series, Things That Concern the Woke. It's a working title, I admit it. In today's episode, we explore white supremacy and veganism, what it's like to menstruate as a man or a non-binary person, why every woman should have an affair, and why racist people should not be allowed in tanning salons. Things that concern the woke. This should be interesting. I think we should start with veganism. Like many of you, I thought a person could not get more annoying than being a vegan. And boy, was I wrong. Let me introduce you to the social justice warriors of the vegan community who are bravely fighting colonialism and racism in veganism. Take a look.
Fail to account for white supremacy in veganism, you get white veganism.
We must address the role of white supremacy and the oppression it creates, no matter if we are vegan or not.
White veganism focuses solely on animal liberation while ignoring the context of colonization and imperialism and how all of this impacts all living beings and the planet.
Not all white people vegans are white vegans.
Our veganism must be intersectional, accessible, anti-racist, anti-imperialist, and decolonized.
Yikes. Now that we've learned about white veganism, let's hear from a white vegan herself. That should be interesting.
Similarly, I think the vegan movement does have a problem of elevating white and especially white male figures to sort of celebrity status positions without really good reason. There isn't, in my view, like a reason why those people have actually done more or are more effective for animals than many other advocates, women, people of color, who don't get that same kind of social media following, of media attention, of hero worship and celebrity status. And I do find this incredibly problematic. That may be a piece of the white supremacy in our system, that may be a piece of the patriarchy in our broader world that the vegan movement has adopted and leads to us elevating these people.
So this girl is complaining about the vegan community, God bless their souls. There's more white celebrities than black celebrities, and therefore racism, white supremacy, and let's add a dash of patriarchy. Why not? Let's apply that logic somewhere else, like, I don't know, the National Football League or the National Basketball Association. Do you think since the large percentage of the celebrities there are black compared to their white counterparts, it's probably because of black supremacy and the matriarchy? I can't follow this logic. If any of you can follow this logic, please comment down below. Explain it to me. Now, before we get to the more disturbing stories of the day, I have one more video to show you. You see, according to social justice warriors, if you hate melanin, you can't go to the tanning salon. Sorry, you just can't do it. Take a look.
I've thought this for a while, but I've never said it on here, so here we go. I don't think that racists should be allowed to use tanning salons. If you don't like melanin, then you don't get any! No melanin for you!
And there's evidence that you should never take a blue-haired activist seriously. Never. But let's move on to see what it's like to have a period as a man or a non-binary person. And for that, I had to get small. Not small like that. Small like in the screen. Not like that. Come on. Come on. Talking to me? Talking to me? Alright, let's get small. Ladies and gentlemen, what it's like to have a period as a non-binary person. We need to stop associating periods with womanhood. Here's the picture of the woman. Okay. When I first started menstruating, I figured all I'd have to worry about would be keeping track of predicted bleeding dates and how to expertly stick down a pad. I never could have guessed that my feelings toward a period could become so heavy. That's the first time we're dealing with a mentally ill person. But that's exactly what happened when I began menstruating as a trans and non-binary person. Trans wasn't enough. One day after school during the fall semester of 6th grade, I felt a little off. I went to the bathroom to pee and found specks of blood on the toilet paper in my hand. While I didn't feel any elation or disappointment that my period had come when it did, I do remember being nervous about sticking my head out of the bathroom door and asked my mom for a pad. From both my family and the media, I picked up the idea that my cycle was dirty, my pain wasn't valid. And there is the issue. Here's the issue, the main issue. You were raised, shitty family. I'm sorry to tell you. There are problems to being raised in a family that makes you feel shameful about having a period. And maybe that's why you end up transitioning. Holy shit, I just solved the case. Wow. I should live in fear of my pad making a crinkling sound, as no one should ever know that I'm bleeding. And yes, bleeding is natural, but it's still something I should be ashamed of, hence all the visual and verbal euphemisms. For example, in TV commercials, who thought it was a great idea to pour blue liquid on a pad to show its efficacy? A marketing team that knows that it's not nice for anyone to see blood on a commercial? Why would you show blood when you could show a nice blue liquid? It does the same purpose. Man, these people. I'm not going to read you the whole article, but menstruating while trans. Doesn't matter. Here's what I want to show you. Navigating the period aisle. I became acutely aware of how transphobia compounds period stigma. This phenomenon is hard to ignore when retailers consistently label menstruation-related products, feminine hygiene, and women's healthcare. If this bothers you, your mind is in a weak state. Seriously, you need help. You can't have labels on products bother you. As a trans non-binary person who doesn't fit the traditional labels of masculine or feminine, I feel overwhelmed by the cis-normative packaging. Can you imagine going to Walgreens, seeing the tampons and saying, that is so cis-normative, excuse me, why couldn't whatever brand think about the non-binary trans folk out there? They can't think about everyone. They just can't. This was something I hadn't been aware of before I explored my trans identity. It's kind of like getting a new prescription of your glasses and you say to yourself, oh wow, I didn't realize how differently I saw things before. Or it's like getting a new prescription for your glasses and then getting into a cult and seeing everything in a different way when it doesn't really exist. And this goes on. And we're not going to read the whole thing because at this point we're just making fun of her and that's not nice. She needs help. And see how I say she? Because I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to bring awareness to what concerns the woke. And, if people like Chris here, maybe they'll seek out help. Probably not. They'll just call me a white supremacist. But let's move on. All women should have an affair once in their life. It made me feel sexier and look younger. If you think having an affair is an absolute no-go for you, think again. You are massively missing out. Nothing beats the buzz of sneaking around behind the partner's back or a rush of adrenaline from the fear of being caught in... Is this real? God, look at her. Who would you guys rather? This one or this one? I don't know. Every woman should try it at least once in their lives. More than a quarter of women who cheat feel more attractive and 22% feel younger, according to a study by Affair's website, illicitencounters.com. And that comes as no surprise to me. My affair made my skin glow, and I felt both youthful and energized. I didn't need Botox or a gym membership when I had my bit on the side. Is this the woman or is this the woman? Because this one needs a gym membership. I was in a steady but mundane relationship with James when my head was turned 4 years ago by a married man at work. So your home record too. Wow, what a wonderful person. It was not as though I was looking to cheat, but after a year with James, a year? That's it? Jesus. The initial spark had fizzled out. In the early days, he lavished me with meals in fancy restaurants, bought me flowers, and made me feel like the center of the universe. With meals, of course. I had never met a man like him who was completely obsessed with my happiness. Yeah, of course not. Sexy underwear. Without warning though, cracks began to show. I cannot put my finger on exactly when or why it happened, but the fun nights out became boring nights in, and I felt invisible because you have self-esteem issues. When James did not have his head buried in his phone, he was on his games console, because you're not much to look at. Am I being an asshole here? I should probably tone that down. I was 38 and I could feel my youth and confidence sleeping away. You're not young at 38. I gained about 2 stone in weight. Oh, you're a Brit. That explains a lot. Finding comfort in chocolate and cake. How much is 2 stone? Let me look this up. 2 stone in weight in pounds. 28 pounds? Holy shit. Phew. 28 pounds. Yet the more I tried to talk to James about how I was feeling, the more he clammed up. You're probably annoying him, but he probably had his flaws as well. If I tried to spice up our sex life with sexy underwear and killer heels. Alright, guys out there. The heels do anything for you, comment down below. Sexy underwear, meh. Sometimes I got him looking at other women in the street. So when Andrew began flirting with me on a work night out, I felt flattered. There's the self-esteem problem that I was talking about. I am a psychologist. Holy shit. He was 10 years younger than me and estranged from his wife. As we laid together, afterwards planning our next secret rendezvous, I felt alive for the first time in years. But you were only with James for 1 year. What's wrong with you, woman? After a few drinks, we ended up back in his place, having incredible passionate sex, which lasted longer than James's 10 minutes. This lady just going after James. I thought I was being an asshole. This lady's being a B word that I can't say because YouTube censors me. We're not reading this whole thing. Just look at this. I don't even believe that she cheated on it. Well, maybe the guy was as attractive as she is. But that's it for small me. It's time for me to get big again. And that's it for things that concern the woke. If I had better editing skills, I would make a little things that concern the woke. But I don't know how to do it yet. So whatever. If you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe. Share it. Which story did you find more disturbing? Comment down below. Thank you for watching. See you next time.